Leo's existential crisis had a new final boss: boredom. He'd scrolled through every last bit of digital nothingness. Exhausted every algorithm-recommended shortcut to a meaningful existence. Nothing worked. So, in a desperate, deeply ironic act of rebellion against the chronically online life, he decided to do something real. He booked a one-way trip to the North Pole. The reality of the real was, as always, deeply disappointing. The North Pole wasn't a pristine, snowy wilderness. It was a glorified corporate event space. The polar bears were on a long-term loan to a zoo, and Santa's workshop was an artisanal gift shop selling branded snow globes. He was surrounded by people in expensive, matching parkas, taking selfies and live streaming their authentic Arctic experiences. This was worse than TikTok. At least, TikTok had cats. He was sitting on a folding chair, sipping a lukewarm hot cocoa, when he saw them. A horde of penguins! Not waddling cutely, but marching with a synchronized, almost military precision. They looked less like birds and more like tiny, tuxedo-clad enforcers. And they were heading directly for his folding chair. The lead penguin, a particularly stern-looking brute with a scar over one eye, stopped directly in front of Leo. He tapped a webbed foot impatiently. It was the universal sign for, "You're in my spot." Leo, who hadn't physically defended anything in years, scoffed. "Dude, I was here first." This was, apparently, the North Pole equivalent of a declaration of war. The penguins immediately began their assault, not with aggression, but with absurd, passive-aggressive tactics. One started pecking at his bootlace. Another strategically waddled between him and his hot cocoa. A third, the largest one, just stood there, staring with a 1,000-yard stare, radiating a powerful, silent judgment. It was a hostile takeover performed by a team of avian mimes. Leo tried to stand, but the lead penguin tripped him with a well-aimed wing sweep. He went down hard, his hot cocoa splashing across the snow. The penguins swarmed not to attack him, but to steal his snacks, a handful of artisanal oat crackers and his phone. He wrestled with the scar-faced penguin for his phone. A desperate, low-stakes tug-of-war for the most valuable asset in the modern world. He finally managed to yank it back, but not before the penguin posted a shaky close-up shot of his face to his Instagram story with the caption, "My life is going great. Thank you so much for asking." Utterly defeated and covered in half-eaten crackers and snow, Leo slumped back onto the ice. The penguins, their mission accomplished, began to waddle away, their smug little backs a testament to his failure. A particularly young-looking one turned back and made a sound that sounded suspiciously like a sarcastic. He sat there, shivering, looking at the barren commercial landscape and the tiny, triumphant birds. This was it. This was real, and it was just as performative and ridiculous as his digital life. He pulled out his phone, stared at the penguin's post, and sighed. "Honestly," he mumbled to the expensive snow, "I had a harder fight for a good username."